Hello, everybody. Okay, let me try that again. Hello, everybody. So I wanted to come on. I was talking to somebody in my everyday walk of life, and we were talking about trauma and some of the ways that people miss the impact of the way a certain trauma may have affected you. So a lot of the times it's easier to understand trauma that is physical, that we can see, that's tangible, that we can put a finger on and say, okay, I can see how this would have affected you. Emotional trauma, on the other hand, is the one that's very tough. And that is actually the one that's hardest to prove in like a court of law, for example. And so if, for example, CPS is involved and the the children's lawyer versus the parents' lawyer are talking and different things like that, it would be easier for the children's lawyer to prove that there was some injury to the child or bruises or something like that, as opposed to emotional trauma. That is becoming a little bit better because now CPS can get involved if somebody was using drugs around the children, for example, or there's domestic violence around the children where the children may not have been directly injured, but they saw a parent being injured or yelled at constantly or different things like that. It's also the reason why some domestic violence cases can only be partially proved, and even that is hard. It's because emotional trauma is a little bit harder to prove to people. And I don't know how to put my finger on it. I'm sure somebody who's more eloquent will be able to say why that is. But there is something that has to do with emotional trauma. And that's what happens when somebody gets like verbally bullied constantly at school. That kind of gives them that inner feeling of I'm not good enough, I'm not enough, the world is not a safe place. It's not a good thing to attach to people because they'll be mean to you, they'll let you down, they'll disappoint you, different things like that. The same thing if parents kind of have that negative talk towards their children, that negative verbal talk is just as impactful as a physical punch or a bruise or something that may happen to somebody. And so thinking about trauma, it's also good to think about, okay, what are some of the emotional things that happened to this person, and then try to find empathy for the emotional things that may have happened to the person and not just the physical things that are easier to determine. Have a wonderful day.